Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a puzzle called Boxed Out. This is by Kidad, who is not the same as Kenneth's dad, but is a first-time submitter of a puzzle, although Kidad has been watching the channel for 4 years, which is fantastic. I mean, that's almost as long as it gets. And has finally come up with their own puzzle. This is great. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Don't forget that there's our Patreon, which has got, it's got all of our monthly reward hunts, and then there's solution videos to those available for the $3 a month patrons, and it really isn't a lot of money for some fantastic Sudoku content. And in addition to that, there are connections videos and crossword videos and extra long Sudoku solves and other Sudoku packs that we release from time to time. Please check it out. It's a fabulous resource, and we're very proud of it, frankly. The people who've contributed puzzles and videos to that are just legends. As is the case for our apps, where many legends have contributed many puzzles to many of our apps, and we're very proud of those too. So they're all available. They include line Sudoku and domino Sudoku, which seem both relevant today. Actually, although it looks like a thermo, I don't think this is one. Anyway, the apps are brilliant. They're on a link under the video, and there are also links to Sven's SUDOKU PAD, so you could support the creation of this wonderful software that we use, and its maintenance and updating. And there's also, of course, our merchandise, where the I'm one of Simon's favourite people t-shirt is doing very well. Loads of people must be wearing it and meeting each other all over the world. Anyway, let's have a look at the rules of Boxed Out by Kidad. So normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 goes in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Digits that are a knight's move apart cannot be the same. So I need to get my Nighty McKnightface reminder machine out. Thanks to Emily for supplying him. He will remind me when I forget that the knight's move constraint is in place in this puzzle. So those 2 digits couldn't be the same, nor could those 2. Digits along a marked diagonal do not repeat, so that'll be a set of the digits 1 to 9. Digits, neighbouring digits on a green German whisper line differ by at least 5, so we could put 1 and 6 here, but not 3 and 7. Digits separated by an X sum to 10. Digits separated by a black dot have a 1 to 2 ratio, so one of those is half the other. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive, difference of 1. Digits in a square are even. Digits in a circle are odd. That is a circle, not a thermobulb. And that's it. Not all the dots are necessarily given. So plenty of rules, but actually not very many markings. Is it just me, or do these obviously parallel lines look as though they're bowing outwards a bit, like, I don't know, like bow legs or something? That's probably a standard optical illusion, but it does look a bit to me like that. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I would be interested in your thoughts even on that. Now let's restart the clock and let's get cracking. So this central box is as busy as anywhere. Right, this is time for me to tell you the 3 things I know about German whispers lines. 5 can never be on them because there is no possible Sudoku neighbour. They must alternate between high and low for the simple reason that you couldn't have 2 low digits under 5 in a row without breaking the rule. So there must be a digit below 5, then a digit above 5, then one below, etc. And yes, this is very relevant today. 4 and 6 are quite difficult to place on a green line because they mustn't sit in a spot where their 2 neighbours see each other. So for instance, you couldn't put a 4 in this cell because both of those would have to be 9s. There's only one possible neighbour for a 4 or for a 6. Now, I think what that means is that all of these cells are prohibited from having 4 or 6 in the central box. And therefore, this is a 4, 5, 6 set. On the white dot, we can't have a 4, 6 pair, so 5 is there. And then something else. What else next? We can colour now. We've used a low digit and a high digit in these 4, 5, 6 section off the lines. Obviously, I could colour one of these lines alternating colours, trying to work out in due course which one of purple or green is high and which one is low. I can then colour the other line as well. We can't have, those two must be the same on the alternating basis, and they can't be green, or there would be 4 green cells marked in box 5, but also a 4 or a 6 would be green. So they must be purple, and these must be green. And now, remember the knight's move. Something's going on here. Because these, well, I mean, obviously they're all in the same box. These see each other by the knight's move. And these see each other by the knight's move. Now, the fact is, we're getting down to a black dot. Can this be... I feel like it's going to be low on the black dot. Most Sudoku digits that can go on a black dot are low. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4 are all low. So actually, it's probably just a matter of probability that I'm thinking that this is going to deduce which is low and high for us, because nothing else has actually done it so far. Row 7 has got a lot going on, actually. Yeah, we know the parity of quite a lot of this row. That's odd because it's in a circle. These are even because they're in squares. The circle's boundaries are even because of the white dots, and that's all the 4 evens. So all of these are odd. And this is an odd digit on a black dot. That's what's going on. So it is low, and there we go. That's how we get it, by doing parity in row 7. I did not expect that. So purple becomes, well, I've just wrongly used my blue. I can't use blue and orange both to represent odd and even, as I just did in row 7, and to represent high and low. I think what I'm going to do is not use colours on these lines. I'm just going to mark in 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's a lot of positions where 4 can't be. And then I'm going to mark in for green, let's get rid of the colouring, and put in 7, 8, 9. Now, is there anywhere a 6 could be? Yes, here. This is odd though, so it can't be 6 or even 8. Does this have to be 6? And maybe that 4 for some reason. I can't see the reason. This digit is in the middle of 2 evens. Now, how do I know that? Because the digits that border it are consecutive to it. So one must be higher and one must be lower. So this is not 1 or 9. This is 3, 5, or 7. Being bordered by either 2, 4, 4, 6, or 6, 8. This digit is 2 or 6 because of the black dot. I don't know. Am I wrong to leave the parity colouring in? I feel like it might matter at some point, but I don't know when that might occur. Here's a really strange thing, but this is great. You know that 5 is on one of these cells because of the white dot here. I'll tell you something really interesting. Both of those cells see this cell. What do I mean by that? I mean, one is on a diagonal, and we've got a rule that no 2 digits on a diagonal can be the same. The other one is a knight's move away. So between them, they are ruling out 5 from this cell. they're also ruling out 5 from this cell just by vertical Sudoku. So the 5 in row 7 has to be there. And our first digit sometimes in really clever symmetrical puzzles is a 5, but it's often in the middle of the grid. Here, it's sitting here with a 4-6 pair surrounding it and putting a 2-8 pair on the other side of the grid. Now, look, in this row, 7 and 9 must be in this group of cells, which is interesting in a different way because using the Knight's move, they all see that cell, don't they? So it can't be 7 or 9 because then it would have no place here. That's so pretty. Oh, I'm a bit gobsmacked and blown away by that. Now, I can take 8 out of lots of these cells. And that means one of these is a 7. Yes, one of them is a 7 and has to be surrounded by a 1-2 pair, either there or there. So this digit, in fact, can't be 3. And now this can't be a 1-2 pair on this black dot because that would break this cell. That's the way to look at it. So this is 3-6. 3 can't sit next to 7. So we're getting this central box disambiguated. And I don't think that's been easy. I think it's been remarkably cleverly set up. Now, 3 by Knight's move can't be there, so that's a 3. That needs a 9 on top. And as for my speculation that these would be a 6 and a 4, couldn't have been wronger, if that's a word. That's become a 7. Now, these two are a 1-9 pair now. Is one of them making something here impossible? You see, now I just have to study a pair of digits like that and go, oh, are they both seeing one particular digit somewhere, somehow? I mean, they are. They're both seeing that digit. Isn't that weird? It doesn't really help at the moment, but it is just so odd. 6, of course, is now looking at that digit. Now 6 has to be in one of those by what we learned about these Knight's move and diagonal combos, 6 can't be there or there, which feels a very strange conclusion. I don't know why. I can't really explain to you why that's strange. It just is. Now, 2-8 can't be on this X. 1-9 can't be on this X, or that cell would be broken. So this is either 3-7 or 4-6. If it was 4-6, we'd know which way round because of this. If it was 3-7, remember the Knight's move, we'd know which way round because of this. So it's one way round and not the other. What a brilliant explanation that is. I'm so full of clarity and articulation today. 4, 5, and 8 are the remaining digits in column 4. 6 must be in one of those two. 7 must be in one of those two in column 5. 3 as well. 3 must also be in one of those two. That is a 3-7 pair. Now, everything else in column 5 is 1, 2, 8, or 9. But this is a 1-9 pair, remember, in row 7. And they're both looking at that cell. This one by Knight's move, that one by everything. So that is not 1 or 9. That is 2 or 8. Can I pull off the same with this 1-2 pair? What's that doing? Well, that's looking at this cell as well. Now, okay, that's quite interesting. This 1-2 pair is looking at this cell. So it can't be 1 or 2. It can't be 7. It can't be 9. That's just Sudoku, apart from the 1 and 2. It can't be 6 by this weird combination here. So it is 3, 4, 5, or 8. And actually, 8 has missed the negative diagonal in box 9, and it's missed it in box 5. So it must appear on it. Oh, look, 8 must appear on the diagonal in box 1. And all of those cells see that one, I think. Yeah, they do. So that can't be 8. If you were to put 8 there, the Knight's move would stop it being there or there, and regular Sudoku would stop it being there. Now, that leaves me 2 very remote positions where 8 cannot be. In fact, 8 is now in one of those 2 cells in box 2, and therefore not here. This puzzle is not working in any normal way. That's what I'm saying. I suspect I'm missing an awful lot about how this works. I don't mind. Let's just try and make our way through it. Maybe use the diagonals a bit more. That's quite a good resolution. 3 can't be on that diagonal, so it's in one of those cells. Not very interesting, I think. 7 and 9 can't be in those. I don't know what use that is. Right, this X, this is an odd circle, and this is a German whisper jobby. Oh, where does 5 go in? I don't know. Some of it all depends on whether 5's in the central cell, which it could well be. The German whispers are done with my 1-2 pairings, so there's nothing else I can do with the German whispers. The black dot is done. This white dot is effectively done. That one, oddly, is not done. This X, yeah, that is not done, and that's worth bearing in mind. But this X is barely touched, so it's not 9-1, that's all we know. It's not 3 7s, and not being 9-1 is not all we know. If it was 3 7, it would break that cell. So it is odd digits. It's either even digits. It's either 2 8 or it's 4 6. Now, I haven't coloured any digits in this puzzle in a long time, and maybe it's time that I did, because there might be more going on than I'd appreciated in terms of forced oddness and evenness. Or not. Or not. Oh, that one's even. Anyway, this is either... Well, if it was another 2-8 pair like that one, what would happen to 2-8 in column 7? They would have to go in these cells. 8 would be in one of those two. And 2 would be somewhere. No, I don't know. So this could be a 2-8 pair. Or what happens to the diagonal then? Ah, yes, what does happen to the diagonal? If that was a 2-8 pair on this diagonal, the 2 and 8 would have to be down here as a pair. That would rule 8 out of this cell as well. It's okay, maybe. I mean, I just bet this is not a 2-8 pair, but anyway. Maybe it still can be for now. What am I not using? There must be some digit I'm not using here. 2, 8, 5 has to get placed in one of those 3, so not there. That's strange. Or 3 and 9. 3 and 9 have to be fitted in off the line in box 3. And that doesn't quite mean that one of them has to go in on the German whisper. Right, I'm sorry, I'm not getting very far at the moment. Okay, 1, 9 are both looking at that cell. So that is 2, 4 or 5. Nine in the central column is in one of those. Now, up here, I managed to get a 7-3 pair out of those digits. Down here, it's not so clear cut that those 2 are the same as those 2, so I'm not able to assume that. I think I'm just missing a combo somewhere. Right, I'm going to need to think clearly or just spot something new. I mean, that may be all I have to do. Right, this is odd. And because of the circle, it's, I was going to say, well, it's not 5 because of the whisper, and it's not 3 or 7 because of that pair. So this is extreme. This is 1 or 9, and that's forming a pair with this. Now, I feel things are hotting up a little, but I don't quite know why or how. Okay, let's go back to if that was 2, 8. 2 and 8 would be in these cells. Or maybe think about if this was a 1. This would be high. The trouble is 1 and 9 are not very useful on the whisper. They do determine the polarity of this digit, but they don't limit it within that polarity, by which I mean if this turns out to be a 1, this could be any of 6, 7, 8, 9. If that turns out to be a 9, this could be any of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's not bringing me home. Diagonals. Let's think about the diagonals again. What's going on the diagonals? We've got an 8 somewhere up there. 2 on this diagonal. Can't be there because of the 1, 2 pair. So it could be in one of those cells. Otherwise it must be there. I'm thinking of 2 because I know it can't be on the diagonal down here. Now if that was 2, both of these other cells would be 8s on the knight's move. No, I mean, I got success earlier from finding things that have been missed off the diagonal paths in their boxes. So that's what I ought to keep doing. That's pretty. No, I'm wrong. I was going to say, if this was a 4, 6 pair, how do you get 4, 6 onto this diagonal? But they would be there and there. And that's perfectly feasible. This would become a 5. Oh, whatever digit this is has to be in one of these 2. That's slightly interesting. It's not something I've observed before. So up here, it's true up here as well. Since those 2 can't be the same, whatever this is definitely in one of these 2. So if it's a 4, it could be in either of them. If it's a 6, it has to be there. Oh, why have I used blue when I've already used blue? Let's use grey up there, sorry. Now, this digit cannot be in any of those cells. I can see it can't be in those by the pencil marking, and it sees all of these 3. So if that was a 2, 8 pair, this 4 or 6 would be over this side. Is that helpful down here? Yes, sort of. No, if that's a 5, there's no problem. If that's a 4, this has to be a 6. Yeah, I'm not getting this at all. If that is a 4 or 6, it is a pair with this digit. In fact, this one sees both of those and must be the same as that. So this is the grey digit. Okay, that's weird. This is one of those 2, the other out of 4 or 6. Okay, can we get anything out of this grey digit being the same in those 2 places? That rules it out of all of these cells. So grey has to be in one of those 2. And it's up here. So grey is in one of these 4. And those 2 both see that cell by knight's move technology. Now, grey has missed this diagonal once. That's not grey. So grey, oh no, they could be grey. Bother. I was going to say grey in this box must be there. Grey in column 7. This one sees all of those 3 places. And it can't be there because of row 1. Grey in column 7 has to be, oh no, it could be 6. It's either part of a 4-6 pair here, or it's there. Oh, this is beginning to, it's getting very, very tricky to fulfill, actually. I think if grey was here in column 7, it would be a 6. And I think that, because that pushes it to here, by the knight's move to there, and because it's already here, it can't be at the bottom of column 4, and maybe that is a salient point. It would have to be here and would have become a 6 at this point. Then it's going to be there to stay off the diagonal, and there. So that is quite possible. The other place for grey in column 7 is on this X. Now what happens then? We've got grey here. The trouble is that doesn't actually tell me much. So I can't really use this, but I feel like I'm actually getting closer to the truth here. Maybe there's another digit that is just incapable of going. So 8 in column 7. It can be here or here, but this 8 sees all of those cells. Clearly can't be down there, and it's not here. Can it be here at the top? If that was 8, you'd have a 1 here and a 4-6 pair here. Now, what would be quite interesting is that 3-9 would have to be kept off the diagonal, and that would become a 2-5-7 triple. And this would be a 1-8 pair. Oh, I can't quite see what this means, but there's really quite a bit of stuff going on. Here's something else. If that was 8, it sees this by Sudoku, so that would be 8. Then 8 would have to be on the X, and that would be an 8-2 pair. So if this was 8, this would be 1. Gosh, I don't know. There doesn't look to be anything very obvious going on. I mean, it's a knight's move puzzle. Am I meant to think about the Fist-to-a-Fell ring and Potato Head's theorem? Potato Head's theorem, which I could prove if I thought about it quite hard, says that in this ring, the Fist-to-a-Fell ring, all the digits must appear except perhaps 1, which would have to be in the centre of the puzzle if it didn't appear in the Fist-to-a-Fell ring. Now, that's a very interesting theorem, but I don't really know how to apply it to this puzzle because these are so uncertain as digits. I mean, I suppose none of them can be whatever is in the centre. So whatever is in the centre is either in one of those, or one of those. Whatever is in the centre sees all of those digits. Ah, that's getting interesting. Now, it is 4, 5, or 6. I now know it's not 5 because there'd be nowhere for it to appear in this column. Oh, wow, that's been sitting there available for a long time and me not getting it. So red is 5. One of these two is a 5. Is that going to help? I don't know. This digit is the same as that one, and they're not blue anymore. They're now purple for me. And let's get rid of the orange colouring. I don't know. I don't think it's that useful. I'm going with purple and grey now because we've got grey going here and here. Purple, look, this purple sees all of those cells. They're all ruled out. Purple is now in one of those two. And it can't be there on the diagonal. Yes, this purple is kept off the diagonal. So purple's in one of those two cells. Now, where are we going next? Purple is 4 or 6. And it can't be in that group, or that group, or this group. And it can't be on any of the diagonals. It is literally worth highlighting the places where purple can't be, just because it's quite interesting to see where it does end up. Yeah, purple in box 3 has 3 spots. No, it's where is purple in this column again, isn't it? Well, it's not quite, because that can be 4 or 6. The only interesting thing about that is it forces this to be a 2-8 pair. And then you're back in this position. Well, I'll tell you what, let's work on the idea that 4 and 6 now can't be there or there. And purple can't be there. So if this wasn't a 4-6 pair, then we would have to have grey here and purple here in the column, if that was a 7-3 pair at the bottom. Now, is something completely impossible about that? I can't see it if there is something impossible about that. Okay, grey though. Grey now can't be here. Oh, but it can still be there. And it probably is. Oh, bother. I mean, you make progress and you're still stuck. Okay, 4 or 6 is purple and grey, so that can't be 4 anymore. In fact, 4, 6, yes, this is the point. They see both of those cells and they both see that cell is what I mean. So this can't be 4 or 6 or 9 or 8 or 3 on the diagonal. So this is 1, 2, 5 or 7. Now, are any of those very, very interesting numbers for some reason in terms of what this can be? Feels like the answer's no. I'm going to have to find some other pair that are sitting looking at some cell that I just haven't thought about yet. Like this 1, 2 pair. They feel like they're powerful, but I don't know why. They both see that cell and they both see, oops, that cell, which feels likely to come good as either grey or purple fairly soon to me. Purple is on the... Grey is not on this diagonal yet. The only places it can appear on that diagonal are in boxes 1 and 9. If grey was in row 2, column 2, in row 3 it would have to be on this pair, and that would be a 4, 6 pair. Ah. That's really interesting, actually. Oh, well, the grey that we've placed in row 2, column 2. So if grey was here, it couldn't be here. It would have to be there in box 4. Then it's going to end up in one of these 3 positions, one of those 2. It's obviously there originally. Now it's going to be in one of those 2. Now, the interesting thing I thought I could see was that 4 or 6, once it can't be in those cells, if grey is there, grey is also seeing that. Now, can I work that over this side somewhere? Yes, I can. I mean, that's really... Oh, no, it's just obvious. But 5 can't be in any of those cells. I hadn't seen this before, and it is relatively interesting, actually. But it's simple. That 5 sees those, and that 5 sees those. So 5 has to be in one of those 2, and both of those positions see that, which can't be 5. I mean, this isn't complicated stuff. It's just very hard to spot it when there's no kind of clear path. Now 5 in row 5 has to be in one of those 2. But 5 has also missed this diagonal entirely, so it's got to be in one of those 3. And if it was there, it would have to be in the corner. And that's impossible. Yeah, if 5 was here, I mean, this is the whole point. Why have I not focused on this before? Where is 5 in this column? Well, now I've just found out from that positioning that it's not here. So it's got to be here. It can never go on a green line or an X. So 5 is there. That's not 5 by the knight's move. That is. Now, we need a 5 in one of these positions, but we've got 5 in the bottom row somewhere. So I can write 5 there on the diagonal. Now this is not 5 by knight's move, and this is 5 by whatever magic we're talking about at the moment. It's red, isn't it? 5. That's got no colour now. Now, that is 4, because we worked out earlier cleverly that it wasn't 8. That is 8, and this isn't. Now I've got a 1-2 pair up here, and a 3-7 pair, and I can place 5, and then 6. And, ooh, I don't know which colour is which. Oh, patchouli. But this can't be purple anymore. Purple is 4 and 6, and they're up there. So that's definitely purple. That sees this by knight's move. That's good. That means this is definitely purple. That means this is the only place left for grey. And now grey is on that diagonal. I was going to say, and it's not 5, but it's also not 4 because of the knight's move. Yes. Grey is 6. This must advance the solve a bit. Grey is 6, so let's get the colouring right up there. Purple is 4. There we go. Oh, that feels like emotion. 6-4, 4-6. This is now a 4-6 pair. I don't know which is grey and purple, but they are they. They are they. What a brilliant, brilliant bit of talking that was. Now, 4, 6, 5, 9, 8. Oh, 8 can't be there. 8 in this row has to be here. And that's not 8 in the corner. Now, this diagonal is saying 6, 8, 7, 4, 5. This can't be a 2. Okay, this diagonal is saying 6, 9, 4, 3, 5. I don't know. 1, 2, 8, 7. Okay, I literally am going to write them in, just in case they spark a great thought, which they're not doing. Now, I just feel like this has been huge advance, so why can't I take it a bit further forward? We need a 6 in one of those 2 cells. One of them is a 6. We've got 6 in one of those 2. We need 6 in one of those 3 as well. None of them are ruled out. Bother. Okay, what about 4s, my old purple friends? 4 is in one of those 2. And that means neither of these are 4. And that means 4 in box 9 is in one of those 2. And that means that is not 4, and this is in the corner of this box, which is a bit analogous to that. Now, 4 is in one of those 2. But 4 is in one of those 2, because that 4 sees that cell. So this is the only place it can be in column 7. That is 4, and this one's not. 4, 5, 2, 8. We need a 7 in one of those 2. 6 in one of those. 7 in one of those. 1, 3, 9. 3, 6, 5, 7, 4. Right, this is 1 or 2, because it can't be 9 or 8. And that is a 1, 2 pair looking at that cell, which must be an 8. And this whole 1, 2, 8, 9 group, aren't they all seeing, oh, they're all seeing this cell, which can't be 1, 2, 8 or 9, or 6 or 4 or 5. Oh, that's annoying. It's 3 or 7, but I can't rule one of those out. I've got an X-wing on 4s here. We've got a 6 in one of those. Oh, that's a 4 on an X. That couldn't be clearer, could it? So we get a 6 there. And that doesn't resolve the 6s in those positions, but it did find the 6 down here. Now, in this column, we've got 2, 3, 7, and 8 still to place. So we'll put all of those in. That can't be 8. This can't be 3 or 7. This one is going to determine the polarity here somehow, isn't it? If that's a 3, this is a 9. And you've got a little shed of 1, 2, 7, 8 here. But if that is a 1, I don't know. Now, let's try and use, okay, that 1, 2 again are both looking at that cell. Oh, but they're both looking at this cell, so that's an 8. That's a 2. I mean, honestly, it just wears you down, doesn't it? 8, 8. 8 is in one of those two in box 7, so it's not there. 8 here. Well, that can't be 8. So the only two positions for 8 on the diagonal are on the ends of it. Oh, this 8 sees all of those cells. There must be something going on with 8s. But I'm also, okay, that 1, 2 pair is seeing that cell. It's not any use. But it's the sort of thing that suddenly will be. That 1, 2 pair sees both of those. So this one can't be 7, 6, 3, 4 or 5, or that 1 or 2. So that's 8 or 9. This one sees the 1, 2, 6, 4, 8, 5. And that 3 down there. So this is 7 or 9. In fact, 7 and 9 there see all of those cells. So none of them can be 7 or 9. That feels like information that I can use, but I don't, again, know how. It's a very well set up puzzle, but it's really flummoxing me. 7 in this row has to be either there or there. 6, 8, 7, 4. So the diagonals again, they must be of some use. 2 on the negative diagonal is in one of those cells, which means that can't be 2. I should start just colouring these 1s and 2s against each other, actually. I haven't done that. Let's do yellow and dark blue. I mean, there could be something blindingly obvious from doing this. Even that is much more colouring than I realised had become available. So that can't be 1 or 2 because it sees both blue and yellow. It also can't be 3. So that's 7 or 9. And that forms a pair in this ridiculous row, this central row. Everything else in the row is 1, 2, or 3. Now, that could be yellow or that could be yellow, but one of them is. This is a 1, 9 pair, so one of those is coloured, and it's either blue here or yellow here. Feel like that's definitely telling me, yes, look, yeah, no, it's yellow and blue that have to be looking at the same place. I was going to say that yellow and blue are looking at that, but then I was doing it based on yellow and purple because I'm not the full shilling. Come on, what are yellow and blue doing? Yellow and blue still have to get onto the negative diagonal, and blue still has to get onto the positive. No, yellow and blue still have to get onto the positive diagonal. Where we've said blue is on a corner somewhere. Have we said that? We said 8 was on a corner. Well, that's quite interesting. The corners are 8 and blue. That is right. That is right. And therefore the interiors include 7. So 7's not on a corner. The interiors are 7 and yellow. It's very hard to pencil mark that. It's very hard to solve this puzzle. Oh look, 5 in the top row. I can just place it. I've got those 2 5s. It can't be here by Sudoku and it can't be here by diagonal. So that's a 5 in the top row. Well, that gives me 5 in box 4. And that has finished off the 5s. So I should really have been able to spot that much more handily. Now, does placing either of those sort anything else out in the puzzle at all? That one maybe, because that came second. Now, where will we figure 9 in this box is now definitely in one of those 2 cells in box 4. How about 7? Can't be there or there or there. So 7's in one of those 2 cells. What about 8? Can't be there or there. 8's in one of those 2 cells. That is a 7, 8, 9 triple of the weirdest stamp. So these are part of a 1, 2, 3 triple. And this must be yellow or blue because it can't be 3. Come on. One of those is yellow. One of these is blue. This must do something. And it does. Do they all see somewhere? No, not really. Nowhere useful. I mean, they all see that cell and that cell, but that's not getting it done. If that's yellow, it's a 2, because it has to be there in the central row. If that's yellow, then I don't know. Oh, goodness gracious. This green I have not used properly. That X I have. In fact, that means that here we have blue in one of these cells and 3 or 7 in one of them. 7 couldn't be there. 3 is definitely in one of these 2. Oh, I'm so sorry I can't work this out more efficiently. I find it really, really difficult. Look at the remaining 8 positions. Even you've got 1 in one of those. I mean, any of these 4 could be an 8 as far as I can see. Then it's those 2 and those 2. And is the diagonal going to resolve that somehow helpfully? I don't think so. Maybe the diagonal is doing. So what did we say? One of those 2 is a 7. That one sees this by knight's move. So if that's a 7, that's a 7. Then we've got some interesting positions for 7. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. This might be a bit relevant. Okay, let's keep thinking about these positions for 7. It's got to be off that diagonal. It's got to be off the other one as well. So it's in one of those. And there. Ooh. I think that would be all the 7s if the bottom left one is a 7. And I don't think there's any clash there. But it was interesting how well formed it was quickly. So if that was a 7, that's putting 7 in one of these cells. So definitely there again. So both these positions for 7 somehow rule that out. Yeah, they do. Look, 7 there rules 7 out of those cells. So the 7 in box 6 would be in one of those, and 7 couldn't be there. And 7 here looks straight into that cell, so that is never a 7. That is an 8. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's now 9. Come on. That sees this. That's a 1, 9. Do I know its colour? This one is yellow now. Yellow is now in one of those two cells, which is quite exciting. That's beginning to get me going. That 1 sees this, which is a 9. So now this is low on the other side of the German whisper line. There's also a 9 in one of those two. We've still got to get one. That 1 has made yellow into 2, and this is fact. This is not supposition. This is fact now. Blue is 1. We've got a lot of the central 3 columns complete now. This can't be a 1. Now, it was this diagonal with 3 and 9 in the corners. And they're not finished. But 9, 9, 5, 1, 4, 6, 2 or 3 there. 7 in this column is now definitely here. That 1 sees that cell, and 2 sees that one. That can't be a 7. So we're going to finish column 3. We're going to finish box 4. We are going to get the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light losing its religion. 2, 7, 3. 1 and 8 still to place in that box. 7 and 3 are done there. This is a 2. We're going to finish now. 1 and 7 by the knight's move. That's become a 7 on the diagonal. This is 1 or 8. It's 1 according to Sudoku. 8 there, 2 there. I'm going to get rid of all the colouring because it's done its full job. And I'm so relieved. 2, 8. Now the diagonal. 8, 1. All the diagonals are finished. 9, 7. And this is a 1 and a 4. And this is a 6. And there we go. That's a tough puzzle by Kidad. I was a bit boxed out by that. It's very cleverly done, but it's awfully hard to get through. If there was a simpler way, I'd love to know about it. Absolutely intriguing. What a ride. What a ride. What fun. Thank you for watching as always, and I hope to see you again soon on the channel with us at Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.